Now that we added some data, let's go ahead and work on our symbology for our data. Now, a couple of things. When I do this, I really want to zoom in so I can see my edits and how they're doing. So I just, come up here to my zoom tool. I'm going to zoom in on downtown Denver so we can get a really good look at what is going on. And this is kind of looks like an interesting neighborhood to check out. And immediately you notice that my parcels are above my building outlines. And so in your table of contents, you can simply click and hold down and drag to reorder how these draw on your map view. Now, typically, figure ground maps are only the building outlines. I'm including the parcels because I'm going to modify it to show not only where buildings are, but kind of where property ownership ends. So in your traditional figure ground, we have a way of symbolizing buildings by just double clicking on this right here. And to do that, brings up to the Symbology Selector. Now we want to fill solid black and we want no color for the outline, and that is your kind of traditional figure ground, so we'll click OK. Now we can turn off a layer by simply unchecking the layer. So this is more of like your historical traditional figure ground, and you can kind of see the building massing and the spaces in between buildings and neighborhoods and larger urban buildings. And the parcels will allow us to look at how the lot development interacts with that morphology. Now another way to change symbology is if we right click on our parcels layer and come down to properties. Now in here we have a lot of different things. We have a display, so this is where you can change transparency if you need to, and we also have symbology. Now in this case we're only working on kind of single symbols, but in future and more advanced cartography you can look at categories and quantities, charts, and multiple attributes, kind of digging into that attribute table with all the information behind it. But we're just going to go ahead and click on this symbol, and I'm going to make the fill color a very light gray, and I want to edit this symbol because I want a bit of an outline to it that is not just a solid, so I can edit the symbol, and this comes into more detail, and so I can go in further to the outline. And this is one of the quirks of ArcGIS I don't really like, is I have to go multiple dialogues deep to get to some of the symbology, and I may pick something like this state boundary, but change the color maybe to a light yellow so it stands out just a little bit. And I'll click apply, and it looks something like that. Now, not necessarily the best graphics. Maybe I could play around a little bit to get something more subtle in the yellow. It's a bit too bright, but you get the gist of how to go about changing your symbology. That concludes this video. Thanks.